This case study was built around a series of projects which looked at various aspects of parliamentary reform. Dr. Andrew Defty, Senior Lecturer in Politics. All of these projects involved significant engagement with Parliament itself. They were based largely or in part on interviews with large samples of MPs, members of the House of Lords. In the case of the Parliament and the Intelligence Services project, also interviews, engagement with senior officials in the Cabinet Office and the Foreign Office. One of the things we were interested in, particularly around welfare in the House of Commons, was whether there was any cross-party consensus on approaches to welfare. So what we wanted to do was talk to MPs and try and discern whether there was cross-party consensus, whether there was growing agreement between the parties about approaches to the welfare state. And we did find some degree of cross-party consensus in all the main parties, and that had been caused not by one party moving to the position of the other, but actually all of the parties converging around a kind of centre ground. One of the fortunate things about these pieces of research is that we've carried out research at a time when significant reform was already going on within Parliament. So actually we extended our research to look at questions around reform too, particularly around expertise in the second chamber and also about representation. So we were able to feed into those debates around reform and also to feed into the reform process as well by contributing to select committee inquiries on House of Lords reform. I did a number of interviews on the Westminster Hour on Radio 4 talking about expertise in the House of Lords and also talking about reform of the Parliamentary Intelligence and Security Committee. And similarly, the research we carried out on Parliament and the Intelligence Services took place at a time when there's been considerable debate about the role but also about the accountability of the Intelligence and Security Services. And it also took place, and this happened rather late in the research, but that the current government, the coalition government, introduced proposals for significant reform of the oversight mechanisms for the Intelligence and Security Services. So we were able to feed into that process too. There was a consultation on whether parliamentary oversight should be reformed, and we were able to contribute to that consultation, and our suggestions were reflected in the government's report on that.